Hi, this is James Cormac McCarthy here for book review. Today's book I'll be talking about today, The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This was first published by Alfred A. Knopf in 2006. This edition is either 2008 or 2009. This was a reread, and I didn't really enjoy this book. Originally, I had another book I was reading and it started off good, and then I got bored with it, so and I basically want to at least get some book review up before this month is over. So I picked this because it was not too thick. It's an average like 200-page length, but this was not good. I thought while the idea of basically a father and son are struggling to survive in a hostile post-apocalyptic world, I thought the idea was good. However, there are I had a lot of problems and issues with this book, and one of the major problems I had with The Road was I felt that McCarthy didn't really flesh out his idea to make it better, as I felt basically he just wrote it on he wrote it on the spot and didn't put more thought into the story, the characters, and a whole bunch of other things that I had problems with, which I'll explain later in my review. But this was just not good at all, and it was a real shame because the first time when this came out, I liked it, but reading it again as a bit older, I have so many problems and issues with it, and there's so many other better post-apocalyptic novels than this one. But as they say, we can't like everything. But overall, this was just not a good book. And I'll explain the many issues and problems I had with this book. Alright, on to the book review. Plot. A father and son are traveling through the hostile wastelands of America after a natural disaster causes the world to be sent back to the Dark Ages. The father plans to take his son south and hope it's warmer down there and find supplies, only armed with a nickel-plated revolver with 2 rounds. The father also has taught his son how to use the gun in case they are captured by cannibals, as he would rather him know how to kill himself than be eaten alive. Waking up in the dead forest wrapped in blankets as it's freezing cold. The following morning, the father and son eat a small breakfast, then unwrap their shopping cart carrying their supplies. The father has attached a motorcycle view mirror so nobody can sneak up on them. The father and son leave their campsite and travel down the empty road covered in ash and dust and across a stone bridge reaching a gas station. They take a few supplies and leave before setting up camp down by the rocks close to the river, getting some rest. The following morning, they leave and travel towards a city ahead of them. Upon entering, they find most buildings badly damaged along with cars, no signs of life along with dried up dead bodies or bones. The father and son explore a store where they find a vending machine with 1 Coca-Cola can, which they share together. Finding little supplies, they leave the city behind them and reach a house to rest. The father makes repairs to the cart as they keep on traveling down the road, reaching the father's house he grew up in. They stay for 3 days, then leave, traveling closer to the mountains as the snow is coming down, making it hard to push the cart. They are forced to carry most of their supplies to lighten the load. They eventually reach the bottom of the mountains as the snow is melting. While resting in the dead forest, the father coughs badly as his health isn't too well. However, he keeps this a secret from his son. They travel further and find a river with a waterfall. As the two strip out of their clothes and go swimming for a bit. As the two travel further, they find a few supplies to keep them going, but it isn't enough. While traveling across the highway, the father and son find a semi-truck jackknife as it's blocking their way. They spend the night inside the semi-truck and slide the cart under its trailer and keep traveling down the road, reaching another dead forest. The father awakens at dawn when he hears a loud machine coming this way. He takes his son as the two hide behind a hill. A gang of scavengers wearing masked goggles and even one in a biohazard suit appear next to a semi-truck carrying a mixture of makeshift weapons and rifles. Suddenly the truck engine blows. As the men attempt to fix it, one wanders off to relieve himself when he spots the father and son. The father aims his revolver at him and tells him not to turn back or call for help or he'll kill him. He asks the man a series of questions, wanting to know where they're going and if they got ammo and supplies, which the man says they do, all while staring at his son. The father threatens if he looks at his son again, he'll kill him, and he'll spare him if he allows him and his son to leave. The man, however, doesn't think he's ever killed anyone in his life and moves quickly to grab the son and holds him at knife point. The father shoots the man right in the eye and quickly grabs his son and flees before the others come looking for them. The father and son hide under a bridge while washing the blood off the son's face. They wait a while before returning back to where the cart is. The scavengers have formed a camp with the father sneaking past them to retrieve his cart. Then gets his son as the two quickly flee the area. They travel through the harsh weather while camping deep in the dead forest to avoid being spotted. However, the son hasn't spoken a word since what happened with the scavenger. The father is unable to get him to speak for a while till he explains to him that he won't allow anyone to harm him and to know what a bad guy looks like. The son finally speaks. After traveling for miles, they rest in a forest only to awaken to a sudden sound of dead trees crashing down. The father picks up his son, taking what supplies he can as they run out of the area and are forced to abandon the cart. They travel down the road, reaching a town as they find nothing and spend the night in a car. The father awakens to a downpour as they wait a while before leaving, eating what remains of food they have left, taking desperate measures to warm themselves during the freezing cold. They have gone without food for 5 days, with the son becoming thin and weak. The father is also becoming weak, along with his coughs becoming worse during this time. They are forced to eat the dirty snow. While walking through a forest, they find a large house. The son is scared and wants to leave, but the father refuses and argues with his son they must find food. Searching the house as they take some supplies, but finds a hidden latch in the floorboard. Upon opening it and using a lighter, the father is horrified when he finds a group of thin, naked people inside begging for help. The father pushes his son out and climbs out of the hidden floor and slams the latch shut when he orders his son to run, but finds him pointing to the window. The father picks him up and runs out the back as men appear running towards the house as they nearly escape from a gang of cannibals. They spend most of the time hiding in the forest to avoid being spotted by unseen men, with the father struggles to keep his son alive and warm as it's getting very cold. They find a barn with a few supplies to keep them going. Just when they believe their luck has ran out, they discover a bunker filled with fresh canned goods, clean water, clothing, and other supplies. They stay there for a few days while resting and regaining their strength. As the two travel further towards south, the weather begins to warm up. However, the father's health is getting worse and knows he won't be able to look after his son. He teaches him everything he can while struggling to stay alive in a hostile world that seems to have no hope left. What awaits them when they reach the south of the border? The road was a dark, disturbing, yet slow, and at times a bit dull novel. While it had both amazing yet haunting scenery, however, the description of these scenes could range from too short or felt McCarthy was repeating himself with scenes I've already read. One thing I didn't like was McCarthy doesn't explain much, as he never reveals what caused the world to be sent back to the Dark Ages, not even through the flashback scenes, which I felt he could have added a little backstory on what caused the sudden events to Earth. Not much happens during most of the novel, as I felt bored at times. Not saying this should have been action-packed, I just wish Cormac had more things happening. I also dislike how the father is only armed with one gun and 2 bullets and never finds a case of ammo for his gun. This would never work, as this makes the character more vulnerable, and should a gang of raiders or cannibals appear, both the father and son would be dead. I wish Cormac had the father carrying more than one weapon in the novel. Also, how hard is it for the main character to find ammo for his gun or another weapon? The few characters we come to know lack personality, as everyone feels dead inside. Both the father and son felt flat and was annoyed. Cormac didn't give anyone names. I didn't care if it was a generic names, just please give these characters more detail to them. Cormac also doesn't have any backstory on the father of what he did before the events of the Dark Ages. Again, I'm not asking for a long backstory, just a simple one. The son, I felt, could get annoying at times, as he keeps asking his father the same questions over and over again and cries a lot. I also didn't like how the dialogue was written, as it feels like I'm reading text messages, and was annoyed Cormac doesn't use quotation marks or commas. Reading these scenes of dialogue wasn't fun, as it felt messy at times. can get a bit confusing of who's saying what during some of these scenes. From what I read about the development of the road, it only took Cormac 6 weeks to write it. I wish he wrote the whole thing, made improvements to the story, added more detail to the characters, giving them names, along with adding more tense scenes to make the story even better. As for the 2009 film, the same name, it follows closely to the novel while cutting out some of the darker scenes from it. While it looks good, but it's still a dull story. Overall, The Road is a decent read. If you enjoy any type of post-apocalyptic novel, then you might like this one more than I did. However, if you're expecting more frills, scenes of terror, and action, sadly, this isn't the novel for you. Well, there are several other post-apocalyptic themed novels you'll enjoy more than this one. Alright, that's it for the review today. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, I did not enjoy reading The Road again. It was not good as I last remembered it. As I said, I thought the idea was interesting. A father and son are trying to survive in the hostile wastelands after some event sends Earth back to the Dark Ages, and they have to, like, not only avoid, like, there's, like, gangs of, like, cannibals roaming around looking for people to eat and stuff, and scavengers that will basically kill anyone and just take whatever possessions they have. But also they have to survive the harsh weather, as it's like described very cold, freezing, and the ash makes it difficult to breathe. So it's a very dark and it's very dark and at times bleak setting. Well, I thought there was definitely some really written scenery in the book. Like there was definitely some scenes that I thought were very were describing like this dark world very well. However, Cormac starts to kind of repeat himself after a while, as he just starts like saying the same thing over and over again, like the father and son are doing, and it started to get really boring. And this is one thing that kind of annoyed me with the book. Like as I'm reading it, there's sections that that are very short, like this. Like you're reading the book, and then there's like one really short paragraph, and then it goes to like to a long paragraph, then it goes short again, and Cormac keeps going back and forth with this, and it started to annoy me. I wish he would write like longer paragraphs. Like you can do so much more with a longer paragraph than doing like these like short scenes. And not much happens during a lot of these scenes. Not much happens. It isn't till a while till something finally happens in the book, but it's not much, and it's like, can he please make this more interesting? Like I'm just finding it like just kind of boring in parts. And this is the other issue I had with the book, was that the father is only armed with one weapon. He does have a knife, but he's got one gun with 2 bullets, and throughout the book he's unable to find ammo for this one gun. I thought, how hard is it to find ammo for your sidearm? It shouldn't be that difficult. There's a point in the book where he does find ammo, but it's for a different gun. I thought, like, have you tried searching, like, gun stores, or, like, you know, be more thorough with your searches to find other weapons and stuff? No, he doesn't do that. I was thinking to myself, is it, like, what, has all the good shit been taken up already? Like, it's not well explained, and I wish Cormac, like, had, like, other weapons for this guy. Like, maybe he could have, like, a bow and arrow, a crossbow, or something else, or a hunting rifle, or, like, there's other characters that appear armed with their other weapons, so they must be finding, like, you know, more ammo than the father is. One of my other main issues with this book was that none of these characters have any names. The father is just called. He's either the father or the man. He's never revealed what his name really is. His son doesn't have a name, and he just refers to his father as Papa throughout the entire book. And like, you can't give these character names. You can't give anyone like a generic, like, one-letter name. These characters had no personality to them, and because he didn't name them, it just made them feel even more flat. And there is a part in the book that it's a flashback when it's when the father is talking with his wife about, you know, they gotta stay together to survive and stuff, and she's basically giving up hope. And what is the main character's wife's name? Woman. Yes, that's her name, Woman. She doesn't have she doesn't have a name, and there's this like really cringy argument they're having, and he's trying to convince her to not abandon them, and she's like, the world's over, it's all over and stuff, and there's this scene just made me cringe at how bad it was written. damn woman, what's your damn woman, what do you want? And she just leaves. I'm like, this has got to be the cringiest argument I have ever read. Like, you can't. It's even more worse the fact that this character doesn't have a name. Come on, give these characters generic names. It's not that hard to do. So nobody has any. Nobody is named about this book. It's just. I swear, when I was reading this, I felt like I was reading a Jose Saramago novel, Blindness, where he doesn't name any of the characters like any generic names. He just says the woman who could see, the first man that went blind, the car thief, and like that is a good book, but that's kind of the same issue I had with The Road, is that I just wish these characters had names. Just give them generic names. It doesn't have to be like full names. It could just be a generic name. And a little backstory would have been nice too. Like, what did the father do before the events of The Road? Like, what did he do? It's never revealed what he did, but the father seems to have skills in both repairing stuff, survival, hunting. So it's like during the flashback scenes, it doesn't really reveal much about him. And the one thing I was trying to figure, okay, so the father and son had been staying in the house that they've been living in for I don't know how many years, and then it just cuts to them like trying to reach the South Pole. I just wish a little backstory would have been nice, especially with the what caused the whole what was the event that caused the whole world to be sent back to the Dark Ages. It's never revealed. There's a flashback where the father wakes up. Apparently, like the streets are dark. And there's like fire. There's like fire in the sky, and the clocks are flashing. And like what was it, like 1:17 in the morning. So I wonder if it had something to do with what is it? When the sun shoots out like oh shit. I heard about this, that the sun releases like gas, and our Earth's atmosphere protects us from it from affecting us, because if the sun's gas went through Earth's atmosphere, it would cause like electronics to malfunction and stuff. So I wonder if it was something, if that would have been the cause or something else. But again, Cormac doesn't explain what caused it. I thought just a little backstory would have been nice. It doesn't have to be a long, complicated one. Just a short, simple backstory. That would have. That's all I'm asking. As I said, that not much happens, and there's a lot of parts where it gets kind of dull, boring, and I just wish Cormac added more like intense scenes, like maybe have scenes like there's like a pack of dogs or mutate animals that are now like hunting in packs and stuff. That would have been interesting if you added that. And then there's like other like there's other humans they come across, like both like good people and bad people and stuff. Like add more. Like it would have been really interesting. Like hell, he even could have done a scene where they discover like a traveling like salesman, and the father is able to like trade stuff to get like ammo for his gun or like another weapon or something. That would have been better too. Or they reach like a settlement and they find like some food supplies and stuff like that. That would have been, he could have added that too, but he doesn't. And speaking of the father, I felt the main character was kind of a jerk at times. Like there's this one part where they find this other man, they follow him for a while, and the guy says, "I don't have anything of value and stuff," and the father is just going to leave him, and the son says, "We should share food." He's like, "No, we should hang on to that." And the son's like, "No, we should share with him." So the father reluctantly shares half their supplies with this man, and they have this really dry conversation. It was really boring, and then the son wants to give the man some more food, and the father won't allow him to. And the son asked him, "Is this because he wouldn't reveal his name?" I thought, well, gee, what's your name then? Like, and then there's another part that happens later on in the book, and I just felt it was like really just kind of like a. I understand like that he was angry, but he kind of went a little too far with it. I thought, like, control yourself, like. So I really didn't like the father character much. I just found him kind of really boring, and the son I found like just annoying at times. Like he just asks the same questions over and over again, cries a lot, and there are times where I'm reading this and he's just going on. I thought, would you shut up? Yeah, not much else really happens in this book, and as I said, this is not a short, this is not like a long book. This is like 287 pages long, so I felt like McCormack could have like stretched it out a bit longer, like added more to the story and stuff. Um, as I said, as I said in my review, the development for this book, like he had the idea back in 2003 after spending time with one of his children at a hotel. It was very foggy, and he had like this really kind of eerie post-apocalyptic atmosphere, and he was kind of imagining what the Earth would look like in like 50, 100 years, and then um, he didn't think much of the idea until like a few years later, while on a trip in Ireland, and then he wrote the entire book within 6 weeks, and he didn't make any changes to it, and he just submitted to the publisher. I felt he should have read it over and rewrote the whole thing, add some more, add more to add more to the novel, like flesh out the characters, add more to the backstory, what caused the events to happen, along with some other things. Put some more scenes of intense moments, some like really scary moments. A little more action would have been nice, and have the father equipped with more than just one gun. Like that's the one thing that still bugs me with the road. It's like the fact that the fathers have been traveling through this hostile wasteland with only one gun with two bullets. That would never work. If that were me, I would have more than just one weapon on me if I was traveling in a post-apocalyptic world or such. Um, but yeah, I just felt this book could have been so much better. As I said, I found the story just kind of really slow and dull at times. Um, as for the film, the same name, like it's got a good it visually it looks good. The acting is good, but as I said, it follows the same dull story, so it doesn't really offer much, and it's just the same thing. I felt the film they could have like really. That's one of the few times I feel that they should change the film from the book and add more to it to make it completely different. And 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 recently I found out there's a graphic novel of the road, and I looked at that, and while again it looks good, like it to me it does a better job of bringing this bleak hostile wasteland more detailed than I felt the book does, but again it's the same story, so it doesn't really offer that anything else that would pique my interest. So yeah, overall I didn't like this. Overall I didn't like the road. Others might like it more than I did, but it just wasn't for me. Alright, that's our review today. Hope you enjoy it. And I was going to try to get more than one book review this month, but oh my goodness, this month has been going by so fast, and it's just kind of a little bit hectic at times, so it's so hard to keep balance of everything. Well, time is just going by way too fast. So, with March coming up, I'm going to try to get some more book reviews posted in March and the later months, as well as the, the as I'm not happy that I've only gotten 2 reviews out in January and only again 2 for February. I feel that's just kind of unacceptable, so I'm going to try to get more reviews in March and the following months to come as well. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel where I post book reviews, book hauls, and official content. Until then, I'll catch you later.